Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Can everybody hear me? What's up, everybody? Welcome. Just give me about 2 or 3 minutes and we're going to get right into it. Enjoy the pictures and enjoy the thunderstorm in the background. It's kind of fitting because it was raining out all day here in Buffalo. I will be right with you. Enjoy, and please share this out if you don't mind. All right.
What's going on here?
Welcome, everybody. Another edition of Bushwhacking the Grand Canyon with Berserker Bear. It's going to be like an open edition, kind of like a fire from the hip. Kind of like Martin Liedtke. I'm going to go back and forth. Might be here for a little bit. I'm going to try to build a narrative that Grand Canyon was mined for metalliferous veins. I'm going to pull from a couple of my old books. You can see them on my community tab. And we're just going to go through it. I'm going to engage with you guys in the chat. Draw some questions and try to get a cohesive narrative going on here. So, bushwhacking Tartaria, around through the Grand Canyon. Here we go. That one right there is a Mr. Brees special. What's up, everybody? So let's get you here. How we doing? Let's get you to... You guys like the... How does my audio come in? Cindy, welcome. Ben Franklin, welcome. 11 everywhere, welcome. Mr. Brees, welcome. Bible Reading Bear, welcome. AKA Bed Reading Bear. So, let's move this out of the way. Now, I'm not necessarily sure what you guys are seeing. Now, bear with me. So, what we're going to do is go over books that I have and all these pictures, hydraulic mining, history of hydraulic mining, how it might look like. We might be considering it to be melt. I'm not going to be making an argument against melt. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys a book that I have. We're going to go over for a video in the future. There you go. Boom. Another one in the collection. This isn't necessarily the focus of this live stream, but I'm going to show you that I'm going to drip a little bit of gravy here, because in this book that I have, it shows old castles, and these old castles look like they have two-tone damage here going on. So again, this is a Grand Canyon mining and a general history of hydraulic mining type of deal. But let it be known that it's not against the melt, because again, some of these, I'm looking through this book and I see these visuals, and what comes to mind maybe is Greek fire. I don't know. Dragon fire. So it does look like some kind of damage, and we're going to get together with Phil, go over it more, but I got that coming for you, a little bit of gravy. Another one in the future, another book. We're also going to go through high school geography book from 1911 that I have, showing things like this, and I'm going to try to make an argument, a cohesive narrative, that what they are telling us is the Vulcan's throne in Grand Canyon. And let's do this hip fire right here. Vulcan's throne. I'm going to try to make an argument that what we're seeing here, and they say Vulcan's throne, is a extinct volcano. And what I'm going to try making an argument here for is that I think that actually they might be mining spoil tips. And why would they not be telling the truth? I might have found some motive behind the hydraulic mining in a certain picture that I found here in my book, obviously, paging through it. And Lady Nick, welcome. Sorry if I'm not saying what's up. I'm going to engage in the chat soon. I'm just trying to give you guys an intro. And so has anybody learned about, was anybody taught of metalliferous veins in geology class? I sure wasn't. And what they're saying is this is a vein of metal, or I presume either honestly gold or silver. And in the expedition that we're going to go over of General Powell, Powell was a major in the Civil War. We're going to do a couple clips. I'll show you a couple clips of reenactment of him explaining what he did. Effectively, the Grand Canyon was the last uncharted spot on the map. And after he was in the Civil War, he had an idea to go and search it out. And he actually had an expedition in 1869 where him and 9 other people went down into it. And that's effectively what the book that I have details, where I pull all these pictures from. This book right here. Now we're going to go over pictures from this. I'm going to pull out definitions from this that I found, and we're going to try to correlate these definitions. Actually, matter of fact, let me open up another. Got a lot of tabs open here. Mr. Brees knows all about that. We're going to correlate definitions that I found in this book. There's a before and after. Look at that. So just through like random searching, I found this picture is in the book that I have, and then as I'm going through and researching and just doing what I do, I found this picture. Now I'm pretty sure that's a before and after. So this is in the Grand Canyon book. This is showing a metalliferous vein, and we're going to go through more in detail. We're going to be here for a little bit, guys, so I hope you have some time, unless to take up some of your Sunday. I might be kind of all over the place right now, but it's going to get a little bit more cohesive. So I just want to ladle a little bit for you. Like, can you imagine stumbling upon this thing? Not to mention, like, what's going on here. It's supposed to be 1869, or allegedly he didn't take cameras in 1869. He went back a couple years later in 1871 with cameras. I have an idea what he was doing. He was probably pinpointing these marking these locations of this ore exposed. But we'll get into that. So did anybody learn about metalliferous veins exposed to view that you would see. I mean, that's not snow. Those aren't streams. That's metal. That had to have been absolutely fascinating. Philip Druzinin put me onto the fact that the natives would have called this, or they would have called this native ore for certain reasons. Now that's an after picture, I believe. And that would be the 100 mine. The old 100 mine, Silverton, Colorado. So actually that was probably silver. Silverton, Silvertown. We're going to go over that. That would be motive. That's why they're spraying all that stuff down with those cannons that you've seen. Or cannons. I know I put a post out there and my boy Paul Cook had questioned why I pointed out the mark over the N. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it was just curious to me why they used a Spanish word to denote canyons in a book. I understand Colorado and that whole area was Mexico at one time. But there you go. Okay, this is a definition that I pulled out of my 1911 geography book because it doesn't have metalliferous in it, but it has something that alludes to it. So we're going to go over all that. You know, I showed you pictures of volcanoes, metalliferous veins. These are definitions of cliffs from that 1911 geography book, or geology book. And look at this. This is what we're talking about here with... Now, Lake Erie's right near me. We're going to go over the definitions of a cliff, of a hill, as they were calling them that in 1911 from these books. So that's why I said this is kind of a work around internet. And what do you see here, guys? This is kind of what we're saying, why it looks like it's melt. I understand that for sure. This looks specifically different than what can happen in the after effects from hydraulic mining, such as that, something like that. See those piles in the background? Or something like that. Now, we're going to go over all this. This would be a cliff. This would be talus on the bottom of a cliff. That's not natural stuff there. It looks similar to what we see in the Grand Canyon, but that is actually the aftermath of... This is citable here. This is the aftermath of hydraulic mining. This is how it looks, guys. Okay, so if you picture, see all the plumes of smoke up here? They were probably hydro mining all up here. It creates such a deluge that downstream they catch all of it. And look at look at this. We'll go over all this. Oh, wonder how they made these things. You see that, Mr. Breeze? That's how they made them, and that's how they would have used these things to move major stone also. And you've seen that picture of the huge mining piece of equipment. That was actually from Philip Druzinin's IG. Actually, I grabbed a couple pictures from my homie. But yeah, okay, so this is what they're saying is the sample of a spoil tip. Now, when we go over the pictures that are in that book, number one, Vulcan's throne is looking a lot like that. A lot like that. It's in a dual side by side too. And we're also going to go over what tailings are. Okay. Tailings are scrap piles, effectively, of mining. And look at what they're doing here. This is actually an official website. Look at that. They catch the runoff, y'all. They're literally just like what we think. I mean, that could look like a plateau, but they're calling it a tailing, right? And we're going to go over the definition of plateau because I have them all. Okay, let's see here. Andrew Booth, welcome. What's up, dude? Good to see you, brother. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me loud and clear? Am I too loud? How's the background noise? Audio good? Andrew J. Yeah, I gave you guys with the mods. Thank you very much. And you have full authority to Duterte any trolls like right away. Pink mist. And we don't have to explain that. Okay. So where were we? Definitions. All right, we got definitions for plateaus. Okay, look at what they're saying. Now that's what I'm trying to. I mean, how do you tell? It's tough to tell. And now, what if there was overgrowth over these things? Mounds. They're mining these. You know. And we're also going to go through definitions of hydraulic mining, a form of mining that uses high pressure jets. Let me just drop a little inception here. You guys see what I'm seeing? Potato and Bear, my man, hollering in from Ireland. How are you across the pond, brother? Welcome. How's my Irish accent? Welcome. Very cool. Brian Tucker. Yeah, this is just kind of a back and forth. I'm going to go back and forth and look at the chat. This is, I think, the best way for me to put my narrative out there. Okay, so you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Now, Cannons Canyon. What were bombards? These things are called monitors. These hydraulic water jets are called monitors. Sorry about that. Okay, for a definition for you. Hydraulic cannons, hydraulic monitors. Boom, definition. They're still selling them. But back in the day, where am I? Okay. No idea where I was. Oh, definitions. Not bad, y'all. Bear with me. This is the first time I'm doing this, so. Yeah, you know what? If you are a bear, you get a tool belt. This is just how it is, y'all. Okay, these are monitors. We have a definition. Now, what I want you to do is chop this thing off. Now, first of all, these things are. This is late 1800s. When they were doing this, we're gonna go over the definition of it. Spoil tip, hydraulic mining. Did I just? No, I didn't. Okay. These things are fashioned in a way where they can be manipulated and directed from the head, the nozzle, effectively. Okay. I read up on them a little bit. They have bearings in them, and the pressure that is coming through these things is unbelievable. Literally unbelievable. So what I want you to keep in mind is what are bombards? Bombards came on the scene when the Sultan Mehmet attacked Constantinople with bombards, which are effectively cannons, but that I think we've addressed in this alternative history community that the cannon narrative doesn't necessarily add up. Now I wonder, and that's kind of why I said Grand Canyon, cannons. Campbell, I want Campbell to take note here if he's watching or if he's going to watch. My friend from Autodidactic, go check him out. He was bringing up cannons and he was saying why the knobs are on here. You see that knob? Now, in your mind's eye, guys, take this thing off, take off the spigot, and take off this back adapter. What do you have? You have a cannon with 2 knobs here. I'm not saying I am, I'm just saying. Do you know what I'm saying? It's, did they, number one, were they using these back in the day? Is because these things can effectively, what these are doing is, what these monitors are doing, what the hydraulic mining is doing, is speeding up the process of erosion. Okay? Hydraulic mining is a form of mining that uses high pressure jets of water to dislodge rock and material. We've seen pictures, right? Oh, speaking of, Campbell, were your ears ringing, bro? Did you see? Okay, I want Campbell to see that. This is what I'm talking about. Hey, Cam, dude, check this out, Campbell. So what I'm saying here is canyon, bombards. You know, bombards. Look up Sultan Mehmet, Mehmet. He sacked Constantinople, and he brought bombards, and bombards are old cannons. But we've, you know, the whole cannon narrative, right? Cannonballs really didn't work, allegedly. So, I remember you were saying, Campbell, why are these nubs on here? Look at, there's nubs. All of these monitors, which are, that's what these cannons are called again. Hydraulic cannons are called monitors. They have this ring on it because they have to be back. They have to have some back weight. Okay, because again, the pressure that comes through here is unbelievable. We'll see some video. It's just like you're literally spraying stream out of a cannon, and it again, it knocks off. They blow up the mountain, right? They blow up the ore with dynamite, and so you're speeding up the process of erosion. And so, Campbell, look, take off this spigot and take off this back adapter, and what does it look like you have? Autodidactic, what's up? Redcap, what's up, guys? How are you? So this, Laura Bear, what's up? I'm using your microphone, and I'm using Jerusha McBear's lights. It's a family thing here with the bear community, y'all. Get familiar. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Campbell, right? A cannon. That's what I'm saying. So Grand Canyon, like canyon. That was the only one delineated with a Spanish spelling of it in this book. You guys can see me still. Kind of confused here. But yeah. Okay, you can. And I just put that out there, and I know it probably was confusing. Paul Cook called me out on that. Brava. Appreciate it. But that's what I'm saying here. So let's look at some more stuff. Okay, spoil tip. A bony pile of accumulated spoil or waste from material removed during mining. Okay, note the conical shape. Note the double, you know, twin pillars, if you will. Oh, Jesus. So, why does it always do that? Okay. You know what spoil tips are? Let's look at slag. We went over this with Campbell and Philip and I. 888 Shinto, what's up? Philip, what's up? That's slag. Chat is effectively like a hazardous spoil tip. They're more like plateaus, and they happen in Pitcher, Oklahoma. Pitcher, Oklahoma is an abandoned town, actually pretty cool. Not cool though. These piles actually, here you go, Pitcher, Oklahoma. This was a mining town, and they were opening up the earth and making piles of the chat. in the town, and that stuff was wafting into the air. They had to close the town. Also, what they were doing underneath the ground was compromising the integrity of the actual foundation of the terra firma, and they had to abandon the town. But why I brought that up is because they have chat piles there, and that's from mining. And I just kind of want to give a broad spectrum of everything that is related to and of mining. And I'm going to pull it back to the Grand Canyon. There goes Scree. I was referring to this as talus in my conversation with Philip and Campbell. Scree is a collection of broken rock fragments at the base. Now what I'm talking about here is when I get into the pictures with y'all. So I have definitions, plateaus, cliffs, pueblos, lakes, canyons. We're going to pull from all this stuff. Gradation. Look at that. What does that look like, Cam? All right. So they're saying this is a butte, but you know, with that talus, was it? This is you know, the debate that seems to be popping up. Is it a melted building or is it Hey Cam, check this out too. I'm not sure if you were here. This isn't an argument against the melt. It does look like some stuff was melted. This is another book I'm going to do that I got. And look, these castles got the two-tone. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. And I've been thinking about Greek fire lately. Here goes another one. If you guys want to follow somebody who's into the melt and does melt exclusively, Tartarian Meltdown, a good friend of mine, good researcher. He just strictly focuses on the melt, but he is open for interpretation. But again, the Tartarian Meltdown, Joachim, homie in Norway. This is a book I'm going to do. I got way more pictures in this book. Just dropping a little bit of gravy there for you. And yeah, it does look like something happened in the bottom of these castles. And I don't know, dragons? Who knows? We're going to go over that. So this isn't, what I'm doing here with the mining, this isn't going to be like against the melt. It certainly does look like melt, but I'm saying that what they're telling us is like, look, they're saying that's Vulcan's throne. Okay, and notice this is, let's actually watch this. But they're saying that's a spoil tip. Vulcan's throne. See that? Looks awfully similar. Also, horrible disaster happened in Aberfan, 1966, of course, with the numbers. Okay, now these are two spoil tips confirmed. And this was a horrible accident. I did this on my brief live cast the other day. And what happens is this ore, or the remaining ore and elements in the slag, effectively, that is in these spoil tips, accumulates into the center. And they can have a blowout. And that actually happened, unfortunately. And then a horrible accident accrued from that. And as a matter of fact, I'm trying to draw a correlation here between what happened in this. Okay, look at. So you see how that flow looks? Okay, now keep that in mind. Oh, I got a lot of windows open. She's going slow. And I got the Wi-Fi on. Anyway, we should be good though. Now, what they say is that this thing is an extinct volcano. And that it had a couple of landslides or a couple of eruptions. And we're going to watch that right now. Okay? What I think is that that's a spoil tip. I think. I'm not making any guarantees, but I think so. We're going to watch what they say about that. Her.
About 1 million years.
Confusing.
About 1 million years ago, flowing lavas poured down a side canyon into the Colorado River.
Oh,
Four
Woody,
times
what's up?
the molten rock
Woody
poured
Nichols,
in and
man.
cooled until it had built a dam.
Woody, how you doing, brother? Welcome. Thanks for stopping by, bro. We'll be getting up soon, man. Spring's coming. I want to get up with Woody Nichols. He's from Northeast 2 area, and we could do some bushwhacking New York State. Wood and Nichols, New York State. Also, Andrew Booth. I want to do a show with him. He is in, oh man, I'm blanking, in Canada. He's in a mud flood city too. Very good researcher, Andrew Booth. Of course, Woody and all my other homies, autodidactic. So, all right, here we go.
Rock poured in and cooled until it had built a dam of basalt and gravel as high as Boulder Dam across the river.
Hey, Laura Bear, I'm using your microphone right now. Gracias.
The Colorado was trapped. It rose behind the dam, and after a while it formed a lake. Then the river cut a new channel through the dam and carried away all but patches of lava along the walls. Later, new lavas cascaded over the rim, and a small crater of cinders grew on top. Today, Vulcan's throne stands above the lava flows that cascade down to the remnants of the lava dam below.
You know, could it be an extinct volcano? Yep. Could it be a spoil tip? I think so. And could this have happened? It's possible. Yeah, it looks similar to me. And we got some more to do here. Horrible accident. There was a school on the way. Not cool. That's what happens when robber barons leave their waste around. Also, tailings. Let's go over the definition of tailings. Okay, so we got scree, and let's also, this is very important as well. The angle of repose is the angle that certain materials take if they're just falling natural. Granular material is the steepest of descent or dip relative to the horizontal plane, yada yada. Effectively, what it's saying is different types of material. Like if you pour sand onto a table, it's going to have a different angle than if you pour, rocks or whatever. There's different angle of repose for different things. Now look at, so here we go. Now that's talus. Some might call that a melted building. Now, let's keep in mind, though, I'm not arguing against that. What I'm saying is it just looks similar to certain things that they're saying mining does. Like this. And I have better pictures also, of course. I can't find them right now. I can and I will. That's what I'm doing here. You know what? If you guys look with me. Okay. That's, you know, see? Okay. This is aftermath. This would be the gold springs. That's aftermath of hydraulic mining. For sure. It's you know, some are saying that those are towers, like melted towers. When they give an example of this, that you can actually look and see that that's the gold rush. That's actually, what is that? Dutch Flats. Okay, that's Dutch Flats between Dutch Flat and Gold Run, the old gold fields. Talus with what looks like cliffs, but they were hydraulically mined. And again, some of these tailing piles too look a little bit too big for the butte that they're saying of the mountain. So this looks like it's on the edge of a sea, but yep, that's what talus is. And the angle of repose, I think, was important to know as well. It's the angle that certain materials are going to take when they naturally fall. Effectively, conical shape, and that's the shape that they say volcanoes are. This extinct volcano. Tailings. Materials left over from the processing of separating valuable fraction of uneconomic fraction of an ore. Tailings are distinct from overburden, which is the waste rock. I got some interesting pictures of waste rock to correlate with a John Levi video. So let's check out Tailings Dam. Tailings Dam is typically an earth-filled embankment. We're going to see some cool footage right now. Check this out. So this is all accidents from mining that can happen. We've the Aberfam disaster. Now check this one out. It's going to blow your minds, guys. Photobomb. Okay, where you at? Where you at? Oh yeah, look at this. Look at how big that equipment is. I think of the movie Mortal Engines. Okay, here we go. Now let's keep in mind the tailings dam and what that is. And I also have literature on that as well. Tailings. See this? Okay. Different types of tailings dams. 3 different types. I'm not sure which one this is, but it fails. Check this out, guys. Now, I forget where this is. You can actually look it up. Tailings dam failure. Watch this. Now, this would create what would be or looked at as a local, well, maybe not localized mud flood because it's very chaotic. Watch the scale of this. Look at the size of that plume coming. That's what happens when a tailings dam fails. Now this is in the this is in the foreground, but look at the size of the truck in the background. That's a failure of a tailings dam. Let's watch it again. Right? Yeah, see, exactly, Cam. Right? Autodidactic says mud flood. Yeah, definitely, especially when it slows down a little bit, or I mean, because you think this stuff right here, right? That 4, that's going to destroy any, but it would still definitely inundate and cover everything. Yeah, mud flood, I agree. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, yeah. Mr. Brees, yep. So, failure of a tailings dam. Mining accidents happen. Okay, this is going pretty slow. I got a lot of windows. All right. Let's go over the book. And I want to show you, now this is Powell, again the major that went through. The Grand Canyon. This is the book that I have that I showed you. Now what we're going to do is go through this and the pictures. And I'll show how some of it looks like straight up mining, some of it looks like melt. And this is I think this is a really good example of put the two different it's not competing ideas, two different of opinions, and we don't know what we're looking at necessarily, guys, and it's good to talk about it. So this is a Dover edition, first published in 1961, is an unabridged, unaltered republication of the work, first published by Flood and Vincent. What a great, how fitting, huh? All right. So unaltered from 1895. Old book, guys. Old book. What's going on here? Here we go. There we are. Boom. The Grand Canyon. Now, I'm not saying that it was formed by hydraulic mining. No, I think that they hydro-mined all along the length of it. And found out, I think Powell went in and marked all the metalliferous vein spots. Honestly, you know what? Let's watch this real quick, because this tells his story. John Wesley Powell, from the depths of the Grand Canyon, Nat Geo Live. And I didn't know certain things about this dude. This guy's going to explain it. He's doing a reenactment, effectively. He's speaking as if he is John Wesley Powell. Kind of interesting. And pay attention. Pay attention to the numbers.
You know me, of course, for my great adventure down the Green and Colorado rivers in 1869. And so let me say this much. Most of the important work that I did was right here in Washington. I moved here in 1872 after my second Colorado journey, and I helped to establish the Cosmos Club in 1878. In fact, the first meeting of what would become the Cosmos Club was in the parlor of my house, not so very far from here. And as you just heard, on January 13th, 1888, I was one of 33 men who gathered at the Cosmos.
113, 1888. 1888 is a really important date. And what else did he say? Some affiliations love numerology. I'll say that.
Far from here. And as you just heard, on January 13th, 1888, I was one of 33 men who gathered at the Cosmos Club to create the National Geographic Society. I grew up in Ohio. My father was a tailor and an itinerant Methodist preacher and a part-time farmer, and generally speaking, a failure. And he expected me to become a farmer too. But that did not in any way appeal to me. I don't know what I would have done if it hadn't been for the Civil War. But the minute it happened, I joined the volunteer infantry and served in a range of different places. But at the Battle of Shiloh on April 6, 1862, I was leading a charge over a ridge, and an unspent or nearly spent mini ball, that's a lead ball with a conical top, struck me just below the elbow and shattered it. 2 days later, without anesthetic of any sort, they sawed off my arm just below the elbow. That hurt. It never stopped me from doing a single thing in the course of my life. Now, after the Civil War, the country was a different place, and there was a lot of disillusionment in the East. And there was a sort of a sense that maybe there was a new beginning out West.
After the Civil War, the country was kind of a different place?
I had the idea that there was one region of this country that was still...
Yeah, Andrew J., he's acting it out. Yeah, so this dude passed... I'm sorry, I should have explained that before. He's like an actor, and he's acting it out as if he's John Wesley Powell. Now, that number one, that seems great, you know, but you can't ask questions, and he's you know, it's not necessarily like a detailed documentation of account of it. You know, they can... Man, I hate to say this because the guy does kind of a good job. You know, he had to memorize that whole thing. But you can't engage, you know, and they can be very specific in their narrative, effectively. Like the dude, I'm not going to show the whole thing, but for example, yeah, good question, Andrew J. For example, I was waiting for the dude to give an account of stumbling upon the metalliferous veins for the first time. I mean, come on. He's given accounts and examples of how they didn't bring any scientific equipment, and none of them were scientists. He's going to say that. None of them were scientists, right? So that's why I think they were going to point out these metalliferous veins. Anyway, instead of explaining, you know, seeing a huge metal vein up a side of a mountain like I showed you, and imagining how that would look if it was silver or gold. I mean, my word, even if it was just, I don't know, iron ore, would still look cool, but it shows that it's like glistening. I was trying to hear like an account of that, and he's giving these grandiose stories about how they got wrecked, and the only thing that they found was about a barrel of whiskey. Meanwhile, he didn't allow whiskey on the trip, so it just like their intentions didn't seem scientifically motivated. So let's continue.
Still unexplored, and that was the canyons of the Green and Grand and Colorado.
Yeah. Mr. Brees. Yeah, right? Or the dude didn't even exist, yo. Oh, man, that was hilarious.
I had the idea that there was one region of this country that was still unexplored, and that was the canyons of the Green and Grand and Colorado River.
That's
so I decided
noble,
to
I guess.
put together a small exploring party and see if it could be done. And we met at Green River Station, and we embarked on our journey down the Green in Colorado on the 24th of May, 1869. There were 10 of us to start. None of them were scientists. I didn't really even have scientific credentials at the time. 4 boats down the Green in Colorado on the 24th of May, 1869. There were 10 of us to start. None of them were scientists. I didn't really even have scientific credentials at the time.
It's funny he says that because they say their motivation was to do a scientific study, and they're talking about scientific equipment and all that, but none of them were scientists, and you know, they wanted to chart the last uncharted place in the map, massive, huge scar canyon, and you don't bring any scientists. I'll bet that they were all surveyors. And possibly of a certain guild, if you will, regarding
there were 10
masonry.
Of us to start. None of them were scientists. I didn't really even have scientific credentials at the time.
Come on.
4 boats. Enough provisions for about 10 months. And off we went into the unknown on May 24th, 1869.
His first expedition was 1869, and they didn't bring, allegedly, they didn't bring any scientific equipment. And of the scientific equipment that they did bring, which he explains in this video, I suggest you go watch it. There was an accident, and the boat got wrecked, and all their scientific barometers and stuff like that can tell you the height of the cliff was lost. But they kept the whiskey. They found the whiskey barrel, of course. And I want to show you this clip also. Hydraulic gold mining.
Because it's nothing more than a giant open pit. They're working with traditional gold pans, nor are you likely to see entrances to the great deep mining tunnels of the quartz mines, because this is a hydraulic gold mine, and as such, it's one of the most historically significant spots in California. The process of hydraulic gold mining is important to California in many ways. First of all, hydraulic mining was born and raised in California. Furthermore, it was the cheapest, most efficient method ever devised to recover gold from the river gravels, where gold is most often found. But to Californians, it has a special significance. It was once the issue of a famous war between the gold miners of the mountains and the farmers of the valleys below. And from that war grew one of the most important concepts of government regulation over private enterprise. Hydraulic gold mining was dramatic. Everything about it was loaded with drama and excitement.
I just got to say, my man's beard is crushing it.
What's most important to us today is that this chapter of California history is disappearing before our very eyes. Because I'm standing in the last hydraulic gold mine to exist in the California Mother Lode. And when this cannon fires its final shot, hydraulic gold mining will probably die forever in the very territory that gave it birth. Now, in 1848, when gold was discovered in California, men came here from all over the world to seek it out.
Mining. So let's close that window. And there, we went over this already, that water cannon. They use them for different purposes now. They don't knock down tailings anymore. I don't think. Well, in certain parts of the realm, I'm sure they do. But here they were regulated because of certain environmental situations, of course, just like, you know, a typical thumbprint or a fingerprint of a robber baron, set up an industry so they can go ahead and, like, literally wipe it clean and then, you know, say it's an environmental thing after they get everything and say it's your bad. You know, the guy operating the water cannon, you know, you're an environmental infractionalist. So, okay, we got Aberfan disaster. I highly suggest looking up. I'm not gonna close this window. All right, we talked about that dude, and now we're going to get into his book. I wanted to get that, water cannons and history of mining. The earliest known mine for specific mineral is coal from southern Africa, appearing worked 40,000 to 20,000 years ago. Okay. Mining did not become significant in industry until more advanced civilization developed 10,000 to 7,000 years ago. In early times, the only metals available were those found in a metallic state in nature. Like a metalliferous vein exposed to view, like we've seen. Like, oh, I mean, it's just crazy. All right, smelting. Oh, what's interesting about smelting is I have these other pictures. You know what? I gotta stay focused here. Smelting. Check it out. Library of Congress, 1988. Not that old, but it's the content. American Heritage. Another book I have. Grateful for my books. Grateful, grateful. To the victors, spoils. Of course, they don't say anything at all about, okay, the Spanish acquired huge wealth from the Indians, of course. Unfortunately, I said. From the mines that they operated. Well, which kind of mines? I mean, is that a spoil tip right there? This is a picture from 1584. Smelting, advanced, experimentation, approximately. Okay. But I don't think that smelting produced, what I'm saying, I don't think smelting produced mining excess that would be spoil tips. And I'm not they're not saying that that's a spoil tip. I'm saying it looks like it. And that looks like a slag protrusion, like we addressed with Aberfan. I mean, seriously. But it doesn't say it at all in this. And again, with the ladder deal, I had a community post about this, ye old ladder. And I was thinking, is this a true scale? Because does that represent symbolically a ladder in the whole, you know, Jacob's ladder mock that we think the ladder is, and their whole, they use it for sure. This is page, I'll give you one guess what page it is. Like Matt from Quantum of Conscience says. I'll give you 3 guesses, but you only need one. I mean, of course, and note the placement of it. You know, in our alt history community, we're going to say that's, you know, I believe that's a Jacob's ladder mock. There's always ladders. On page 33 as well, I have other proof of that. Whatever. Also, I'm wondering if it could symbolize industry. Like if it also could, it could be like I said on my post, is it like a visual double entendre? Because look, these look like goats, and then this is South America, and then I'm thinking, yo, is that a giant? Did they harness the work of giants? Is that a Patagon? You know, I don't. If it's Mexico, obviously not a Patagon. Patagon is in South America, but giants could have been all over. In my post, I assumed that this picture right here was true to scale, but maybe it's not. I mean, if that is a railroad, what else would it be? A ladder. These alpaca? That a giant? Okay, yeah, so look at spoil tips. You know, and it says to the victors go the spoils. Where does that come from? You know what? Let me, Laura Bear, thank you for stopping by. Thank you very much. Thank you for your microphone. She gave this to me, sent it to me. Like, amazing. Take care. Have a good night. Laura Bear, awesome, crushing. So, yeah, hey Campbell, with the, you know, etymology there, etymologically speaking, interesting. To the victors go the spoil tips. Like, you know how they tell you truth? A part of it's truth, but they don't acknowledge it. Okay. Spanish acquired huge wealth from Indians, rich treasuries, or from the mines that they operated, such as the large one above. So, okay, this is a mine, or this is the mine. In Potosi, in what is now Bolivia. Oh, okay, Bolivia. In this 1584 picture, the raw metal is brought by llamas. That was a llama. To the refinery in the foreground to be processed. Okay, so the foreground is the refinery, so they are saying that that's a mine. But I think that that's a spoil tip because they're telling you here. And then it's like, did they have this big old equipment back in the day? And I think that they did, like that picture I showed you from Philip Druzinen's IG. That massive earth-moving machine. And then if you look at something like this, okay, they may have had this stuff back in the day. Again, I have to cite the Truth Drop movie. You know what? Firing from the hip. Crushing. Yeah, Spoli, okay. There, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, did we come upon, like, these spoil tips? All right, what was I doing? Yeah, CCAM, yeah, like, and it says it on that page, too. And you know how they tell you the truth? Silver ore is being smelted in Mexico. In the picture on the right. Okay, so this is Mexico. It was painted by... Yeah, so if that's a llama, I guess you can say this might be the foreground, but still, is that a giant? And then I think of one of my posts.
Grubhub.
Of course, there's going to be... Okay, keep in mind, this is a spoil tip. Keep in mind this. Truth drops in movies, y'all. I don't care if this gets a strike. too many windows open. Mortal Engines. Let's see if I can get a good picture. Like these are massive machines on the Terra. That's not gonna be good. I got wait. There you go. There you go. And like these are huge, like the size of mountains. You know. Never know. Spoil tips, right? So they could have had these. I mean, I don't know. Like, is that a truth drop that they had this stuff way, way, way back in the day? And that's how they would create them. Also, you can move real heavy stuff with that. Okay. Here we go. There he is, Powell, the one-armed legend. Also, oh, Mr. Brees, you still here? Now, what do you think about, so they say these are illustrations, but from his, they're saying that these illustrations are from, as a matter of fact, let's do this. I'm going to put this on a slideshow right quick and read you the preface of the book. Could do that type deal. All right, here we go. Did all that. Okay, on my return from the first exploration of the canyons of the Colorado, I found our journey had been the theme of much newspaper writing. A story of disaster had circulated with many particulars of hardship and tragedy, so that it was currently believed throughout the United States that all the members of the party were lost save one. A good friend of mine had gathered a great number of obituary notices, and it was interesting and rather flattering to me to discover the high esteem in which I had been held by the people of the United States. In my supposed death, I had attained to a glory which I fear my continued life has not fully vindicated. The exploration was not made for adventure, but purely for scientific purposes, geographic and geologic. Okay. But you don't bring any scientists with you? That's the kind of glaring anomaly and stuff that sticks out to me when I go through my stuff. Like, they make such a point to say that it was, what does he say? It was not made for adventure, but purely for scientific purposes. But you didn't bring any scientists. I'll bet you're just surveying for, that's why I can feel right, or at least I have a right to question your motive then. It doesn't add up, homie, is what I'm saying. We'll go back over this stuff too. Okay, now, yeah. Guess what page? Ye old ladder. Ye old 33 ladders. Guess what page that is? I'll give you 3 guesses. You're only going to need 1. All right. We'll go back over these two because there's some really cool pictures in this. There's a lot, though. All right. Okay, so the exploration was not made for adventure, but purely for scientific purposes, geographic and geologic. And I had no intention of writing an account of it, but only of recording scientific results, where the metal veins were, right? Metalliferous veins were. We got you. Immediately on my return, I was interviewed a number of times, and these interviews were published in the daily press, and here I supposed all interest in the exploration ended. But in 1874, the editors of Scribner's Monthly requested me to publish a popular account of the Colorado exploration in that journal. To this, I acceded and prepared 4 short articles which were elaborately illustrated from photographs in my possession. In the same year, 1874, at the insistence of Professor Henry of the Smithsonian Institution. Well, well, well. I was called before an appropriations committee of the House of Representatives to explain certain estimates made by my professor for funds to continue scientific work which had been in progress from the date of the original exploration. So what I'm going to do here is stop and cite what Philip, there you go, okay, on that one, fitting. A typical cliff dwelling. That is what you see the Legos there, Mr. Brees? Possible blockage of the plane, maybe. And then this is what the Tartarian meltdown would call this little spot right here. He would say that's a pocket of survival, and that all this other stuff is building melt, and it expands from heat. Philip Druzinin will say that it is in disagreements with that, professional disagreements with that, because of the lack of vitrification or sheen that these rocks tend to have. I understand there's different processes, and there's some things where people are saying that the sheen and the vitrification is baked out of it. But what I think Philip might be saying is that at that point it might turn literally into liquid flow. So I don't, we're still working it out, guys. We like Matt from Quantum of Conscious wants us to give him an answer like yesterday, and the dude still hasn't given me a definition of the not nilk. You know what I mean? So we're working on it, homie, and I appreciate the professional call out. Matt's he's a crusher, Christian, and you don't know it. Yeah, I said it. All right, now much love to Matt from QFC. He gets it. Okay, so what I say, the Smithsonian Institution. Okay, we got a pocket of survival. I don't know what we're looking at here, of course. So with the photographs, I think that these may have been pictures. If someone's drawn these illustrations, or like you said, he had pictures in his possession, so I guess this was done after his second expedition when they brought cameras. So someone drew these from pictures. Why? Wouldn't they just show the pictures? Maybe to hide the detail. Or these were drawings that that the app that you have on your phone where you could take a picture and turn it into a drawing. They definitely had that back in the day, y'all, for sure. Let's continue. In the same year, 1874, at the instance of Professor Henry of the Smithsonian, I was called before an appropriations committee of the House of Reps to explain the estimates made by the professor for funds to continue scientific work, which had been in progress from the date of the original exploration, which is 1869. Mr. Garfield was chairman of the committee, and after listening to my account of the progress of the geographic and geologic work, he asked me why no history of the original exploration of the canyons had been published. I informed him that I had no interest in that work as an adventure, but was interested only for the scientific results, and that these results had in part been published and in part were in course of publication. Thereupon Mr. Garfield, in a pleasant manner, insisted that the history of the exploration should be published by the government. And that I must understand that my scientific work would be continued by additional appropriations only upon my promise that I would publish an account of the exploration. I made my promise, and the task was immediately undertaken. Sounds like a Faust to me. Don't ever take it. Okay, peep this. All right, this is the kind of stuff that's gravy. See what we're looking at there, guys. Okay. Where are all my tabs? Boom. Yo, this is a mining operation. So I don't think that we did it. Like, I don't think that Powell and I don't think these guys. You know what? Smelting. Don't need it. Showed you that. Monitors. The hydraulic mining cannons are called monitors. Okay. We'll go back over that. California gold. Okay. I don't think these dudes are the ones that did this massive operation. Okay. I do think it was done back in the day with huge equipment, and I don't know where that equipment is now. Maybe they buried or they flooded them in the quarries. That's a possibility. But look at this Reservoir Butte showing terraces of the ancient Lake Bonneville shorelines. What's this formation? Is that the form? Is this formation what they're calling a shoreline? Because it looks awfully similar to a complex accumulated type in mining. Typical forms of quarry dumps. Okay. I'm going through this and I'm like, wait. That looks awfully... What do you guys think? I'm not saying it is. I'm not making any definitive statement here, but it looks like a massive mining operation. Huge. And again, I'll cite... check this out, guys. Look at the size. This is a quarry. But some might say that looks like, a building. I'm not saying it's not. They're quarrying it, though. They're saying this is a quarry. This is from Philip Druzinen's IG page. Quick reference. And then you have, massive cantilever truss cranes. So... And then so our cannon was like all they were doing. Now check this out too. All they're doing effectively is so they take this is the process of what they need to do to. I can't find a better picture of this, guys. Like I can't find a better picture where this small writing is legible, and I'm not going to strain my eye. But here's effectively the process. They got a canal off the streams. These things are canals. They take these canals and drop them. All they're doing with this, they're getting that pressure from falling water. That's it. They tributary off a canal. They canal off of it, snake it down the actual canyon, where they actually blast out the wall with these things. Hydraulic mining became primary to recover large amounts of gold by the late 1800s. Of course, and they probably didn't get into the canyon to see those metalliferous veins until Powell got in there, and they were like, boom, okay, see how it's back weighted? Has to have that back weight because the pressure coming out of here is sick. And it's like streams coming out of here. You can move so much earth. You get one little crack. You ever use a power washer? Anybody? And how it takes off the, you know what I mean? You get one crack and it just opens everything up. Now think of the pressure on that. And what it creates. Now this literally can create terraforming. It can create what we see as mud flood, the runoff. Look at this, guys. I mean, look at this. I mean, that's literally, those don't look like natural streams to me. I mean, the scope is just unbelievable. And again, it has to do with mining. Look at this. So there you go. Look at how they built these things up. The canals, also the sluice. They sluiced. That's what the water runs down to catch the actual gold. Okay. Now, they would make these things absolutely huge, like you could see. I mean, obviously. So, look at, I mean, it's creating things that look like buttes. Maybe stuff that looks like it could be the crew. There you go, cliffs. Looks like it could be towers melted. And I'm not saying that towers we don't see melt, but look, what certain things that we are looking at that might be looking like melted towers, I think, is this. Again, I'm not taking away from the melt. You know? So what do you think about that? I mean, all right, we got the Aberfam down. Oh no, I might go back to that. I stopped it there. Let's see. Check that out. Imagine stumbling upon that for the first time. This is still here. I'm not sure if that's a metalliferous vine, but that's still around. The mountain of the Holy Cross is what they're calling that. See it? Oh my goodness. Imagine coming up and down this canyon and seeing something like that. That could be a metalliferous vein. I'm not saying that it's not. But, okay, let's continue here. So keep in mind that huge machine that Philip had in his IG. This could be all, you know, it could be scraped with one of those things and then just completely hydraulically mined all the way down. See the talus? I mean, does this runoff look in scale to what these buttes are? Or do they get up there and literally mine all of it, like literally? And then it all run off, it would all run off and go down the streams, and then that's what after they were all done with getting the veins out, they open up the gold rush, you know? All right, let's see. We're going to repeat some of these pictures and go back to them. So, okay. I informed him that I had no interest to work as an adventurer, but was interested only in scientific results, and that these results had in part been published and part were being in course of being in publication. Thereupon, Mr. Garfield, who was the Smithsonian dude, in a pleasant manner insisted that the history of exploration be published by the government, of course. So that was the Faustian deal. They wanted to make sure that they had all the points noted for the veins, I presume. My daily journal had kept on long and narrow strips of brown paper, which were gathered into little volumes that were bound in sole leather in camp as they were completed. After some deliberation, I decided to publish this journal with only such emendations and corrections as its hasty writing in camp necessitated. It chanced that the journal has written in the present tense, so that the first account of my trip appeared in that tense. It's odd the way he puts that. He's trying to grapple something here. It chanced that the journal was written in present tense, so that the first account of my trip appeared in that tense. He's trying to hide something. The fact that I think they're trying to cover over the fact that these illustrations looked like drawings from pictures, but he didn't bring pictures on the first expedition because he said it was all scientific, but then they lost all their equipment, so it doesn't make sense. So it just doesn't make sense. Because some of the pictures that he came back from the second expedition that I found actually have illustrations from this first one. It's confusing, and if I'm confusing you, I'm sorry. So, yeah, he just goes on to eloquently state that he comes back and doesn't really warrant any more reading of that. So that's Powell. He was a Civil War general or a major, lost his arm, and he just had an idea to go map the Grand Canyon and do a scientific look into it. Meanwhile, there's other motive there, I believe. Let's go through these. So Now, are these... Okay, these are mesas. All right. Let's get to my other... How we doing? Mr. Brees, what's up? Thanks for staying in. Dan in Phoenix. Crushing. How we doing, guys? Everything cool? Any questions? All right. Plateaus. I'm looking for plateaus. A plateau, Mesa Verde. All right. How crazy is that? Same thing. Now, would that be snow, or is this all metalliferous? Now, look at this. Is this all Mount Morin, Teton Range, Wyoming? Is that snow, or is that metalliferous vein? Marble basins. That looks like water flow. So, this is where I'm saying it kind of looks like this is a picture. Like it's way too much detail. And why would they make pictures into illustrations if they weren't trying to hide detail of something? You know? I mean, what do you guys think? Let's play this and I'll talk to... Again, looks like spoil tip. There you go. Is that mining operation? What do you think? I'd say so. And then look at that thing. A lot of these pictures that I was coming up with, they were more pictures of the natives and the Indians. And I just felt that it was kind of exploitative, to be honest with you. So I'm going to keep this going. I'm going to quick break. I'll be right back. Oh, wow. Perfect timing. Okay, so... Metalliferous veins exposed to view. Can't get you guys in the picture to see that. Of course, on his account, that guy acting it out, not saying anything, hide or hair about these things, it kind of seems fishy. Also, you guys take a look at this. You guys spot this out? Right here on the right, you see that? Is that like a Rapunzel tower? It kind of looks like it. What do you guys think? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, tiny trees. Like, well, scale. Those are big trees. So that's a huge mountain. And like right here is where I think that they're trying to depict that it's shining. Now, if that's gold or if that's silver, that's motive. And that's why they say, and look at the wash too. Are they already trying to mine this? So what they would do is blow that out. And hold on, I get the before and after. Okay, remember. Look at the size of that. Look at the size of these operations, guys. Look at those cliffs. They look like... Okay, here we go again. So you got the back, the weight in the back. It has to be pivoted. Now again, take off the adapter here. High pressure hydraulic monitor. Similar to the ones used by mining operations. Also keep in mind, you know, when we say that these buildings or the old cities are like torched. Keep in mind or posit the idea of what if they turned one of these things on a city. You know, we always say that things look muddy, streets look muddy. We always say that it doesn't look like a fire can do what it can do to certain buildings. What if they turned one of these cannons, if they had cannons or bombards back in Mehmet when they were, and they're just using falling water for these things, and they can track across distances like that with railway, it's entirely feasible that these things could have been these water cannons, bombards. Maybe the bombards was actually water. Because again, look what these things can do to cliffs. I mean, look at the power of that. This dude's sitting on it. And the size. Look at the size of these operations. All I'm saying is a lot of it looks mined. And the motive, look at that. Look at how they have the canal going. So they would be able to erect these things anywhere, effectively. Anywhere. And like literally taking down mountains. Making their own, so they would use this waterfall to do the next step, you know, and then just ladder it down. I think terraces of waterfall, cataracts of mines, massive operations, crisscrossing canals, sluices, looking like a cliff. But it was mined. What's going on here? Just an operation, just a sluicing, washing everything down, turning mountains into. This is a mining pile. One of those things being mined effectively. Look at the size of this. They can literally create canals and take mountains down. And it's literally, you know, terraforming the area. Jordan, what's up, brother? Brother-in-law Jordan Whoop Easy. How you doing, Brohim? Melt or mining? I think it's both. Some looks like it's mining. A lot looks like it's mining. And again, why we're saying mining too is because there's real-world examples that we can pull from, you know. Again, I'm not against the melt. But I've never seen a building melt. Or, you know, I'll look up, I'm going to do a search on, for some reason I'm picking to Greek fire lately. Got to look into that. Was the Greek fire thrown on these buildings? Okay, look at that. Kind of reminds me of where they may have got the idea for the old school wooden roller coasters. But I'm kind of thinking, like, was Greek fire... They don't know mainstream historians acknowledge Greek fire, but they also acknowledge they don't know the formula and they don't know what it was made of. There's just written accounts of it. And that's fitting, of course, for like Greek history. Okay, here we go. Aftermath of hydraulic mining, looking like possible towers, but it's the gold rush. Gold flats. You know, look at that. Massive. Okay, that might look like a building to somebody, or a melted building. I'm here to tell you that is confirmed, the post-op of a hydraulic mining operation. So we got to use discernment. Some might say that looks like melted building. I'm telling you, it's mined. Real world. They look like buttes. That's mining. This is after effects from mining. Hydraulic mining confirmed. Boom. Look at how big the scale is. Like, they're doing it. They did it probably the whole length of the Grand Canyon because of that. And look at what... Okay, let's get to the end of this. Look at the size. Spoil tip in the back. Accidents happen. Spoil tips blow out from ore. I also like to cite the New Earth video that I shared on my community tab, where spoil tips act effectively like volcanoes. They can, that ore, the slag, can actually erupt. So cliffs, those are cliffs that were made from mining, hydraulic mining. It's not melted buildings. Maybe it's covered buildings. Maybe. Okay, here's an idea. Maybe with these things, and by pouring this stuff out, there could be buildings underneath. That's an idea that I thought of. That they could be covering the old world buildings with these spoil tips, just covering them up. And as they peel back, we see it like a pocket of survival. I'm not sure what we're seeing. Mr. Brees, thank you, bro. You're a big help here, man. That means a lot to me to hear that from you, dude. For sure. And you helped me out with a lot of it, dude. So, right back at you, homie. Yeah, look at that, guys. Okay, so that's my motive. That's what I believe their motive is. And look. The crew. Oh, it looks like a cannon. It's a cannon. I mean, I think these are retrofitted cannons, guys. Look up bombards. Look up Mehmet. Sultan Mehmet. Huge operations. There you go. There goes the canal. Drop it down. Okay, here we go. Look at, see? This is a good illustration to show the canal coming from the top. They're dropping the water down. That's where they get the pressure from. And then they just keep it moving, wash it down, catch the water, and sluice it. That is Dutch Flats. See? Lasting effects of Dutch Flats. Look it up, guys. What do you think? Just trying to show examples here. Again, I'm not against the melt. We're just showing real world examples of what it could be other than melted buildings. Some definitely does look melted, though. Look at how high this dude is. Look at how big this operation is. Absolutely massive. And dangerous, too. Very dangerous. It's one of the reasons why they say they stopped it all. Because it was so dangerous. Okay, so there's their motive for going in there, and Powell saying that he just wanted to go on an adventure and be that guy that charted the last uncharted map, per Western standards, if you will. Excuse me. Yeah, per Western standards, if you will. And it's all benevolent, he had a great heroic story. He was leading the charge, lost his arm. This guy, hero, right? Okay. Some people might think otherwise, like maybe the natives, because this is native ore. Yeah, I'll say it, and I just did. So let's keep going. That was motive. Effectively, that's kind of the long and short of it. And Vulcan's Throne, tailing mines, tailing disasters, they do it. You can look it up, guys. The examples are right here for you. Plain sight. Okay, they do this stuff. Figure 1 project, Western Australia. Hydraulic mining of tailings. So they're trying to get the last scraps of it. Tailing mounds. Vulcan's Throne, I think it was. I think I made an argument that it could be a spoil tip instead of an extinct volcano. Aberfram disaster supports this. This slag heap runoff here looks very similar to what they're saying happened in Vulcan's Throne. In my opinion, look at that. That's slag. That's massive. Out of a spoil tip, confirmed. It looked like lava flow because it's effectively molten metal. Ore. You know, it's... There you go. It could be. I don't know, it's... No way. So let's continue on the book. And I hope you guys like this. You got any questions? I'm not running too long. This is kind of like, again, I told you it was in the style of a Martin Liedtke. I was trying to think of the best way to draw this information out and explain this, and I think this is the best way to do it. I was going to do a pre-recorded one, but this is cool. This is the eroded towers capped with large blocks of sandstone. I mean, these are still there, but look at what's going on here. This is Grand Canyon. I believe it's the towers part of the Grand Canyon, they call it. Fire in the camp. There's another accident that happened in Powell's expedition where there was a fire in the camp. It just seems a series of tragedies, you know. But it's, you know, good benevolent charge to go, you know, map that Grand Canyon, dude. That with the Grand Canyon. Okay, cool. Separate Audi. Thank you. Dan and Phoenix crushing 88 Shinto. Thank you. Redcap Goblin. Thank you. Ben Porter. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for sticking around with me. I hope I'm making a good argument here or some good content for you. Thank you, Carrie. Isolated house at Zuni. Now, okay, here we go, guys. This is what I'm talking about with melt. There wasn't any kind of delineation as to what this is. I tried to... Okay. Sherman, South Carolina, or Hoasan, Sherman, South Carolina. I don't know what this says, but this is what I'm... Now, this doesn't look mined. That looks like straight up melt. I think. Look at that. I don't know. In the book, it didn't say what mountain this was. And of course, there's another accident where they're climbing a cliff and the guy who has one hand has an accident. These robber barons and their robber baron affiliates and their accidents. I'll tell you what. Echo Park. Blocks. This is kind of just disparaging the sea. It looks like they were planted in these buildings. That's why I didn't get all of them in there. These are tops of ladders, of course, like makeshift ladders. Like they were building this kind of stuff, but they had to make these ladders to get up on top of the bit. It just doesn't make sense. Kivas. Buttes, or is that general view of Awatabi? I think my grandfather was trying to draw, actually. I didn't notice that until I looked at it. I don't think that's in the book. I got to check out. That might be my grandfather trying to draw him. Doesn't make sense if it was in the book. Maybe, though. Swallow Cave. Now, I know that there were caves around here in the Grand Canyon for sure. And the whole Isis temple thing in the temples of Egypt. There's definitely some gravy to be had here. Ruins, just called ruins. Now, Tartarian Meltdown would say that this is like heated red brick. I don't know, I'm not sure. But they're definitely calling them ruins. And for what they say, ruins are old structures. I don't know if the natives were building structures like this. Something that doesn't add up again. More ruins. Ruins with a robber baron. Oh, Gina. So this picture says house building at Oribe. Again, I don't think so, and it's disparaging. It looks like these were all, I don't know. They don't look like they're being built. It looks like it's in destruction. And it doesn't look like it's from fire. Again, I wonder if they pointed these cannons at these places. Interesting little hut. And this is what they say that the natives were building with, and like the stool that they had and the ladder. Disparaging. Okay, this is Sumner's Amphitheater. This is something where it might look like it was massively terraform mined, possibly, or geology would call that strata. I believe I have the definition of that. Oh yeah, again, look at that cliff. Looks like structure, doesn't it? This is from the old geography book. Arch and stack cliffs. I mean, what's going on here? Looking for stratification. Might be in gradation, possibly. Stratification. Let's see if I have a definition. Look at that, landslide, Switzerland. Always having landslides up in those areas. Norway, Tartarian Meltdown. Tartarian Meltdown would say that that's stupid fucks. That's unsettled building melt. Excuse my language. But it's my man Joachim. Runoff. See, look at all, I have all this stuff. Sediment. Alluvial cone. Look at that. Alluvial fan. That's again runoff. Allegedly alluvial fan. I think that's all from mining. I know it could be a delta, but they don't seem to have any more literature about alluvial fans. They call them alluvial plains now. And it all happening at one time like that kind of indicates either like a landslide or possible mining, like runoff from hydraulic mining. I can't find it. But yeah, this is Sumner's Amphitheater. Look at that. And look, again, you know, I can understand why it looks like it has structure to it. You know, I mean, maybe everything was once all building, like, oh man, like Campbell and his buddy was talking about Colm Gibney this morning. Like everything being like star forts and the underlying foundation of it being building. That's possible. Lighthouse Rock Canyon. This is again, you know, might be argument for melted, but I think that they literally wiped it all down after Powell's expedition with hydraulic cannon mining. Look at that. Look at all the talus. This is like seriously. This could be a tree, could be an old petrified tree that still does have the mineral in it, and they just maybe they're stumbling upon old mining and they're like, we can get some more out of it. I don't know. Or are these metalliferous veins up here? Is this real talus from erosion? And the angle of repose is true? Or is it that hydraulic mining and this is all runoff? And the whole story is just like a fudge thing. Bird's eye view of the land of the standing rocks. Okay, where they had the standing rocks where they're capped with the sandstone, that's called Standing Rock. Standing Rocks Canyon. The Butte of the Cross still there. Look at this thing now. Now this is not still there. There's a picture I have of, you can look up the Butte of the Cross. It's still there. But I have no idea what this formation is at all. Looks like Lego blocks to me. Land of the Standing Rocks. There you go. Old mining, maybe, or I don't know. All hydraulically mined, old world, or just natural formations. Keep in mind, hydraulic mining does just speed up the process of erosion. And this could be a before and after. That's the old 100 mine, that Metalliferous. They could have done all that to this whole area, all the way down. Lateral Canyon. The heart of the Cataract Canyon. Water, look at this. Now, look at the scale here. See those guys? And I think that these are all pictures. And the one reason that they were turned into an illustration is to hide the detail. The plan of the ruin of Kin Teal near Tusayan. Anyone ever hear that? Excavation. Gravy. Repairing boats at the mouth of the Dirty Devil River. Okay. Look at this. Ruins on the brink of Glen Canyon. Again, ruins that just look like they were there forever. And they don't look native, so disparaging. This is one of the coolest ones ever. The Island Monument in Glen Canyon. It's still there, a Sentinel Rock, I believe. But it doesn't look like this. This thing looks like it's got a face to it. Of course, you got La Luna. Look at that thing. That's got a face to it. Maybe it was carved in there. Maybe it's a Titan. Again, I seen one of you guys' comments saying that I believe some of it's definitely Titans. I would reference Stellium 7. Some of Roger's work from Mud Fossil University. Not his space stuff. I don't advocate for the space work. I don't. But Roger's Mud Fossil University, also his buddy Tyson's Mud Fossil Adventures. Definitely look at those channels for large titans. That this might be a petrified titan. It's possible. You know, it's biblical. And Stellium 7, of course, for the Mount Go mountain. Again, enclosing wall, upright. These things kind of reminded me of the Sarsen stones for Stonehenge, or even the stones of Karnak in Brittany, France. The rows and rows of standing stones like that. One myth is that it was an advancing Roman army. Again, Karnak stones in northern France, Brittany. One legend is that it was an approaching Roman army, and Merlin, the wizard, turned them all into stone. Marble Canyon. Look at this. There you go, Mr. Brees. Who says nature doesn't make straight lines? What? Look at this. Impeccable. So, okay. Noonday rest at Marble Canyon. This is a real picture, and you can look it up, where this is actually a picture taken, and it's proof that they made it into an illustration. And it was allegedly taken on a second. Marble Canyon, look at that. So, you know, again, I'm not saying that mining created all this and hydraulic mining. No, natural processes do happen over time, yes. But we can certainly speed it up and open it up more, like we've done. And accidents happen when robber barons go into the earth and open it up. And it does look like it's mining to me, guys, in the Grand Canyon for sure. Some of it does look like it could. There may have been buildings underneath. Some does look like the formation of buildings. What I'm saying, though, that a lot of it is after effects of hydraulic mining. Here goes the a story where they went over the rapids. A dude with one arm goes over rapids and they miraculously live. Highly recommend looking up the videos that I showed you guys too. Talus, you know. Could be natural for sure. It could be conical angle of repose spoil tips in talus mounds. Alcove. You need do you want me to recap, Dan, in Phoenix? How's everybody doing? Notice the boat there? Look at the scale of this, guys. Okay, so it looks like structure. You know, that might be a little bit too steep to mine. You know, maybe we're mining and I don't know. It's discernment's tough here, guys. Look at this. It just fascinates me. It's like Huck Finn type stuff. Tom Sawyer. And look at that. I mean, that, you know, looks like structure. Possible building. I don't know. Cavate houses. Now this is what some would say melted building. And this doesn't look specifically like hydraulic mining aftermath. So again, lending credence to possible melt. I mean, look at kind of like the overhang here, like it would expand from heat. Although we can't see pictures, or this is not a picture. I can't tell if it's vitrified or has a sheen to it or not, but that's what, like, you know, John Levi would say that that's melted building. Tartarian meltdown, of course. Here go the standing rocks. Very cool. What are these things? Aside from this is a cool picture. The ladder, of course, and it says Vandal and Shameless. Fitting. Second-hand store. Colorado Springs. I mean, look at that thing, huh? No way. Really? Bedridden Bear? I don't even know the date on this one. Let's see. Adventures of Huck Finn by Mark Twain, of course. And I also have this old school one. Real old school. Old. That's awesome. Powell reading Bear. Crushing minds think alike, huh? All right, let's get her going. Get you through these pictures. Mary's Vale, the upper fall on Pine Creek, small tributary of the Seaver. Look at this. And you know, it's unfortunate that it is illustration and not picture. You know, you can't zoom in too much, but at least you can get the idea and the grandiosity of it. Pillings Cascade, the lower falls on Pine Creek. I mean, I just think about being the guys to first see this stuff. I know the natives were here, and of course we think of the old world. We know that they were here. But, okay, so this might look like what might be considered melt. Doesn't look like any kind of aftermath of mining. Matter of fact, it looks like stuff was carved into it. Almost like they might be... Oh, geez, I don't even know. Like head dressings? That's where I think certain, you know, a lot of mountains might be literally titans. Towers on the Rio Virgin. So they're calling those towers. It's possible those are melted towers. Possible. I don't show any. I mean, look at this too. This looks like a citadel. Where do you see the actual? Okay, here you go too. Again, I can understand how it look. People might think that is the formation of old buildings. Look at that. Look, might be have been an old aqueduct. You know. This is hilarious. The Witch's Water Pocket. Oh, is that right? Of course, under La Luna, in some hollow. They make it look like native, like a headdress here, but I don't know. We got like round things going on too. Weird. Jay Rusha McBear, how you doing? Hey, notice the lights? Laura Bear was just here, and she gave me my microphone. The lighting, compliments of Jay Rusha. Crushing. Yeah, look at that. Witch's Hollow, huh? What? No, thank you. Poultry House. Okay, here goes. It says a recent lava flow on the Unkarit. I'm not necessarily sure. You know what? Let's actually look it up. Hipfire Edition. Okay, volcanic field. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's near Vulcanstrone. So, I mean, this could be a lava flow. Vulcanstrone could be still a spoil tip, I believe. This all could be slack runoff, though, too, possibly. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe they hit it in the lava flows to hide it. I still think Vulcanstrone. This could be lava flow, for sure. Okay. I'm not saying that it's not, but I still think, because that's huge. It's, you know what though, man, that could be spoil tip. These could be tailings, and this could be all slag runoff, man. It could be. What do you think, y'all? Like the Aberfama disaster. I mean, that does look. We're thinking the scale of this stuff. It's possible that's slag runoff. Because if it's extinct volcano, that's looks like it's fairly recent. If it was slag, it was only 100 years ago, 150, maybe even before that, actually. I still say Vulcanstrone is a spoil tip. And maybe that's that could be slag from a spoil tip. I mean, is that a spoil tip in the back? I don't. And they just say that it's lava because it'd be hard to discern. Matter of fact, a comment in my last stream that I did said that her father was a geologist, or someone's father was a geologist, and they kept on passing this one feature. He always went to it and looked at it because it didn't make sense, and it looked like it was something like a slag flow. 1,000 wells, huh? Again, looking at formation, possibly formation. But again, that could be, well, I don't know. Boy, it's hard to tell, guys. Boy, it's hard to tell. It looks like you got structure here, though. It looks like you got structure, and it doesn't look like it's hydraulic mined. So, boy. Terraced houses. Look at the construction of the houses, and you have to have ye old ladders to get up. You know, like they didn't know how to build stairs or whatever. I mean, what do you guys think? Found, you know, the conquistadors. I see blocks, you know, I see almost Legos. Oh, you know what I wanted to show you too about mining? John Levi would like this. Where you at, brother? Oh man, don't tell. Oh, here we go. So, about 2 or 3 John Levi's ago, he did the one out in the desert where he took his drone, and that's a picture from John Levi's, and he was positing that it's mining in this one. John Levi is also he thinks that it's some of it looks melt for sure, but definitely acknowledges mining, and this was from his video. Now, this is right near me, guys, in Buffalo, right out off Niagara River. That's Lafarge, North America. This is some gravy right here. Note the Legos, Mr. Brees. I'm gonna get more boots on the ground here. I actually have boots on the ground, but this is where we are. The Berserker Bear is somewhere off screen to the right, my abode. I can literally drive here in 30 seconds, though. All right. And as such, I did. And this is what I found, guys. Keep in mind John Levi's picture. Some gravy for you. Let's see how bad the lag is here. Buffalo? Wow. And I have Wi-Fi. And I have an Ethernet cable. Okay, see? Here we are. Niagara River. This is Grand Island. Now you want to talk about mining, guys. I'm going to get boots on the ground here. They say this stuff's all landfill, but I don't think so. Lafarge is an asphalt company, and they make asphalt. And when I went here, it looked like it was abandoned. Let's check it out. That's that pool. Now you see that? That's this pool right here. And your boy got up in there. Got ambitious on lunch one day. Check it out. I'm just trying to get some speed up here. The old gold fields of 49 between Dutch Flat and Gold Run. Look it up, guys. Look at the cliffs. Tell me what you think they look like. Leave comments and stuff. Okay, that's the Metalliferous mine after it was mined. Metalliferous vein after it was mined. We've seen the old picture of it in that book. That's the after picture for sure. And yeah, look at. Okay, so here's the deal. You see all this plumage up here and everything? They're probably hydraulically mining that hole. This is what they did. They would upstream hydraulically mine it. Downstream, they would sluice it and they would block it off. Look at how they are operating this. Look at what these guys were doing. I mean, this is unbelievable. Moving water, power for moving water. And upstream, all these plumes is probably those hydraulic monitors. Just completely devastating and eroding the cliff face that gets all caught down into this, and they're catching it here. Boom. Millions of gallons of water. Entrepreneurs dam streams, see? To make the canals to operate the power of the monitors. Okay, or something like this. I don't know what's going on here. This looks like a hole. But yeah, upstream, look at. This has got to be plumes from hydraulic mining. And it would just create such a torrent Millions, think about it, millions. They're giving themselves energy here from these turbines. Cite Paul Cook, one of his videos there, a couple back. Super dope. Check him out. Yeah, it's what they did, guys. See, I mean, look at that. That's one heck of a coffer dam too, to stop flowing water like that. But they probably built it when it was just a small stream, you know, not like dropping caissons in the middle of Niagara River. And they had the equipment to move heavy components, spoil tips. Yeah, so there you go. And where was I? There we go. Check it out. So yeah, blocks, guys, blocks. Here we go. Blocks. I know these are more modern, but like you're talking about, Cam, and Cole Gibney, you know, and geopolymers being poured. This looks like a containing wall. It's crazy. Look at it. It's got different levels. Check it out. I'm gonna get here again, guys. Plus there's a cool ass like old wall in the river. This whole area I want to get to. I definitely want to get in here. This is obviously the Water Treatment Authority. Water Authority are down here. But look at this wall. I want to get there. And I can. But it's tough because it's blocked off. I got that stuff. This boots on the ground for you guys. Water Authority, and then I want to get here too. Look at this old mining joint. I'll get here too. I will definitely get there for you guys. So, right down the street from me, and then boom, look at this. So keep in mind John Levi's picture though. Mining out in the desert, containment thing for the slag or the heap, right? I just drove down the street and the door was open, the gate was open, and I drove in here and I seen this. I'm like, wow, that looks awfully familiar. Literally, I had watched John Levi's video earlier this day. This was taken a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, man, that looks awfully familiar. And I sent this to John too. Look at that one. Yep, definitely a containment heap. For sure. Thought I had video. Oh, there it is. Watch this. It's your boy getting boots on the ground. A little double boots on the ground for you. Or actually, this is the first boots on the ground for this video. How long have I been going for? I can't tell. Now, the effects of mining or even asphalt, mining for asphalt, you're about to see. Remember that pool that I said that I was at? Why does it keep on stopping? This was disgusting. Look what I was on. I wanted to get more of an angle to look up into that heap though, so I kept going. Can't stop the Berserker bear. So then I turn around again because I wanted to get an angle up into that thing. Just interesting. It just looked exactly like I seen on John Levi's video, And he was saying mining, and I'm like, dude, yeah, look what I found. And again, this is an asphalt mining operation, Lafarge, North America. And I'll get there again. It'll be another video for you, boots on the ground. There you go. Also, another video I'm going to do, if you guys came in a little bit late, is another book that I have. History of Castles and Fortresses. You know, they're specifically different than what you say bastion forts are. Or star forts. You know, Campbell was doing that this morning. This is a history of the castles. And I've always had questions of why the castles, the structure of castles are different. Specifically than star forts, you know. Like they're trying to copy them or something. But this is a detailed history of forts and all that. I'm going to go over it. Plus, look at Cam. Two-tone. You know, looks like heat damage to me. So, another video, another time. Blocks. Back to the blocks. Lego blocks. Also, hey Campbell, you here still? I think this thing is coming up. You guys talked about this thing this morning with Colm. Navajo Church, it says. I don't get it. Near Fort Wingate. Okay, check this out, Cam. This says, not this one. It's coming up though. That when you and Colm were talking about the Grand Canyon this morning, and there was a specific thing that looks like it was a building for sure. Check it. You got to check it out. It doesn't look like it was hydraulically mined, but again, we got a round tower on a rock. Okay, the natives were building that. I would say that's a ruin. Old world evidence, guys. Tailings again. So is that a plateau, or is that what we were already addressed as a possible tailing mound that they sprayed down with a hydraulic monitor? It's possible, especially. Okay, here you go. There it is. The gable with the pinnacles. I believe this is what you were talking about earlier this morning, and this thing looks like a building. I forget the name of what you guys called it, Cam, but look. Niche or panels in the red wall limestone. Panels are over 600 feet high. Now, I know it has talus, and it looks similar to what we would say hydraulic mining is. Maybe they did hydraulic mine this. Maybe this was a buried, I don't know. This looks like structure to me, though, and I lend credence to the whole melted theory. Again, it was mined also. I believe I proved that in the beginning. I'm also trying to advise that it also does look like this was a structured building. I mean, come on, look at that. I'm pretty sure this is the same thing that Colm was talking about this morning, Cam. And when you guys were talking about it, I was like, synchronicity. Look at this. I mean, come on. I don't think hydraulic mining would do that to make it that symmetrical. What's going on here, guys? It says niches or panels in the red wall limestone. Panels are over 600 feet high. Whoa. And then, okay. Rounded inward curves and projections cups of the walls. This is a bird's eye view of a relief map. Relief just shows depressions. And what does that look like to you guys? It looks like maybe somebody might be trying to hide a star fort. I don't know. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Looks like someone might be trying to hide a terrorist star fort. Then that will also give motive for mining. Again, melt. Okay, the Eastern Temple. There you go. Again, Cam, what you're talking about this morning. Oh, Cam, thanks for stopping in, man. Hope all is good. Hope your arm's doing better, brother. Take care, all right? Thanks for stopping by, as always. Oh, man. So, yeah, this could be melt, too. I don't know. I mean, look at it. Just looks weird. This looks like melt. maybe it could be, maybe it could have been soft material that was hydraulically mined. That would give it that look, but it looks like mud almost. So again, lending credence to possible melt also. Look at that. And at the top, you got structure. You got structure. Unreal. And back to Granite Falls. There you go. Pinnacles of the Kaibab. Kaibab? So again, I could see people saying this looks like structure, like towers. I think Colin was talking about it this morning. It does. Yeah, it does. It doesn't look like, this to me doesn't look hydraulically mined. Plus the angle is really steep. They probably couldn't get down there. You know, who knows? Look at the scale. And that was it. I think this is like, these might be the, yeah, okay, these might be the towers, the Isis Tower and the temple. Because that does look like, man, so think about this. If they were like pyramids or structures before and they came and just got, and maybe melted, or maybe they just turned the hoses on these things, but no, it's too in the middle. It's like there's nothing around it where they can like bring water to it too, you know? So the hydraulic mining doesn't add up here necessarily. It just looks way too big. So you got to use your discernment, because they certainly hydraulically mined portions of it, and we know that we have real world examples. I showed it. This looks a little different. It still looks like it's the same thing. Again, hydraulic mining is just a speeding up process of erosion. So, you know, 5 years out from hydraulically mining a cliff, it could look the same as erosion, you know, or it could look like that place like Dutch Flat, you know. So discernment is key here, guys. And again, I'm going to be doing another video. I'll do a video on this one and show castles and possible melt, or what looks like heat damaged castles that don't fit the hydraulic mining narrative. And yeah, what's going on with the chat? Let's see. I don't really have anything else to present aside from if you guys have any questions. And hope you liked the presentation there. Of course, I didn't even hit record on my OBS operating system, but whatever. At least this will be on YouTube. Jay Rooster says, even in the Bible, it says that the whole creation cries out for the revelation of the sons of God. Even the earth is crying out for help from God. Yep. Also, I think it says in the end times, or, you know, in the apocalypse times, not that this is that, but the rocks will be crying out truth, you know. And, okay, yeah, let's, so Vulcan's throne, guys, is it a spoil tip, or is it really a extinct volcano? Is this really lava fields, or is it just slag runoff from tailings, from ancient old world mining, from massive equipment that we don't see around anymore, you know? Certain places we do, like the picture I showed you from Philip. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming. Also, I always try to plug my research channel, or my research webpage, MeWe. Please come here. If you guys are interested on my videos, or the videos that I do of, wow, this is horribly bad. I'm sorry about that. The videos I do, boots on the ground of churches, I share all the pictures from every video on this site, like a trove, a dump. So all the pictures that you see from my video here will eventually be at my website here. This was set up by Campbell of Autodidactic. You have to set up a user account on MeWe, and you have to subscribe here. But if you like what I do, you can do it in your city and post it up to here. I'd appreciate that. Be professional, be respectful. If you drop a video, please explain what it is, a brief explanation of what it is. Mr. Brees, who was in the chat, I'm not sure if he's here anymore, but he's my homie. He's a moderator here, so be careful. He will snipe you. Kaloum Wilkinson is also a moderator. So is Campbell. We're all a little bit busy, so if you have any questions, please hit us up. You can find us on here under members. And just please be respectful. Please be professional. And we want to network the realm. Like I said, if you have this stuff in your city, like my buddy Andrew Booth, we're going to be having a video chat together. You can do this work too. You can put it on here. I put all my pictures for all my videos on here also. So please stop by. And also please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. Thanks again for coming by. I hope it was a good presentation for you. Hope I wasn't too confusing. That's my YouTube channel. So that was bushwhacking the Grand Canyon, or Grand Canyon, with Berserker Bear. I hope you liked it. Please like, share, subscribe, and let's see. Fantastic. Thank you very much for showing up, everybody. Fill up. Mr. Brees, my man, Andrew Booth. Yeah, thank you very much, man. Bedridden Bear, Bible Reading Bear, thank you. Brian Tucker, thank you. Cindy Blankenship, thank you. I appreciate all your love, all your support. Guys, I'm gonna end this right now, and I will report back as always. All right, Berserker Bear out. Hope you liked it. God bless.